Everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Requiescence. So we just opened up the second altar, and now we're in a tunnel. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. We make our way into another set of damp corridors, but luckily these don't smell as horrible as the last ones. It's dark and slightly more cramped, but nothing I'm not used to by now. But the further we go, the more nervous I start to feel. I keep on thinking I'm seeing movements out of the corner of my eye. Yep, whenever I turn to look, there's nothing there.
Damien?
What is it? It's probably nothing. Never mind. Damien glances over his shoulder at me with a skeptical raise of his eyebrows, but soon continues onward. I follow closely behind him. A few more minutes pass. Maybe I really was just being paranoid. When we pass the side corridor, I peer down it briefly. Nothing.
Can you stop dawdling and keep up?
Sorry. I turn forward to see Damien glaring at me from a little ways ahead. Just to reassure myself, I take one last glance behind me, down the corridor. Shit, I need to warn him.
Damien!
I take off running in a sprint. Shadows. I saw shadows. And they were moving toward me, rapidly. Damien! Just around the corner, Damien stopped in his tracks. What's he looking at? I peer around his shoulder.
I think we may be in a bit of a tight spot, Kaimiu.
He whispers coarsely to me, sucking in a tight breath. Just a little way down the tunnel. Shadows, moving toward us. Shadows of men. At least 5. With a feeling of dread, I glance over my shoulder. More of them. They're surrounding us from all sides. Damien and I press back to back, and I can feel his rapid breathing.
Can you take 2 of them?
I probably can, but there seems to be way more than 2. I can try.
Trying isn't good enough, damn it.
He hisses back to me so vehemently that I cringe. He's right. This isn't the time to hesitate. Just as I start to channel a spell, one of the shadowy figures lunges towards me. I narrowly duck under a punch he aims at my face. This fucker. I throw a kick at his stomach. And it connects with a solid thud. He lets out a deep groan and falls back. I grit my teeth, trying to find Damien in the dark. A fist smashes into my cheek. Ringing numbness shoots through my jaw. Bastard. I stumble back a few paces, desperately raising a hand. With a short distance between me and the men ahead, I can manage one spell before they get to me. Concentrate. I conjure a jagged ball of ice in my palm, which solidifies in moments. One of the other figures comes rushing up to me. When he tries to punch my stomach, I smash the ball of ice into his face. Mrrr! His horrible scream echoes through the air as I see tiny streams of blood spurt out of his hood. It splatters over my cheeks, sending a shiver down my spine. The metallic scent is sickening, and yet it makes my heart pound excitedly. This last one, I can take him easily. But is Damien still alive? Trying to catch a desperate glimpse of him, I throw a hasty glance over my shoulder. Something slams against my solar plexus. For a terrifying moment, I can't breathe. My chest burns. It feels like someone ripped a knife from my abdomen to my stomach. I stumble backwards. I can feel someone grabbing my arms and pulling them behind my back, twisting them the wrong way. Something feels like it's about to break. Are they going to kill me? A fist comes flying towards my face. floating. I must be floating. I'm moving, but I'm not walking. What's happening to me? Ugh. My head.
Wake up.
Ooh. New voice. But I'm so tired.
Wake up, you fool.
A pair of hands jostle my shoulders, forcing me awake. My body aches as I force my eyes open. Where the hell am I? When my vision clears and I can finally see around myself, I notice a man standing over me. His hair is a faded silver, and a scar traces from his chin to his throat. He must be almost twice my age. What's someone like this doing here? His dark green eyes narrow intently at me.
Carol will be back soon, and I promise you won't like what happens when he sees you.
Ooh, this guy's kind of handsome. Rugged.
There's not much I can do to help you, but I'll give you a warning.
He pulls me upright, his movements a little rough. I realize my hands are bound behind my back, preventing me from struggling. The thick rope presses painfully against my wrists. What is this? Did we get kidnapped?
Where am I? Why did you take me here?
Calm down, boy. I'm just here to tell you to pretend you're not a mage. If you pass the blame to that blonde fellow, you might not face the boss's wrath.
He rises up to his feet, and I stare at him with a blank confusion. Why would I pretend I'm not a mage? The blonde boy. That's right. What about Damien?
Where's the other one who was with me?
They're probably bringing him here right now. Just remember what I told you. I don't want to see you get knifed.
Hey! I call out to him angrily as he leaves, but before long he disappears around the corner. Great. This is just great. Clenching my teeth as I try to wiggle free from the rope around my wrists, I briefly glance around the room I'm stuck in. It's a dark chamber, one dimly illuminated by candles placed here and there. But I'm not alone in here. In fact, I can make out the dark shapes of several men huddled in one corner of the room talking quietly. One of them has a bandage across his face. The one I hit with my spell, probably. Judging from the bedrolls around them, as well as a slew of packs and bags, this is a camp of sorts. Damien told me that you didn't need to eat or drink here due to some sort of magical stasis. But do you need to sleep? It seems a bit contradictory, but then again, nothing here really makes sense. I try to struggle out of my binds, but it's no use. My head doesn't feel quite as horrible, but I know I have some bruises. But as for why I've been taken here, I have no idea. Though I doubt they have anything good planned for me. Especially after what that man just said. He mentioned his boss? I glance over to where the group of men are still lingering. A few of them are playing cards while the rest are sleeping. I wonder if they would notice if I tried to slip out. Doing my best to be silent, I start to slowly scoot over towards the nearby archway that leads out into the hall. The men don't seem to notice. Are they really guarding me this poorly? It seems a little suspicious. But I'm so close to the exit now, I could just bolt up and sprint down the hall before they could react. I'll count to 3, and then make a break for it. 1, 2, 3.
Let go of me, you insufferable troglodytes!
I freeze. I know that voice. And I can hear footsteps. But they're not just Damien's. They're coming closer. Should I try to run? I doubt I could make it very far before someone caught me. But I don't have much time to deliberate. Because as soon as I start to rise to my feet, a cluster of figures move through the door. A bunch of darkly clad men crowded around one colorful figure. Damien. He's being restrained by at least 3 or 4 men, struggling and kicking wildly. I'm relieved to see that he's okay. But it doesn't exactly make me feel better about the situation.
This is an outrage. I'll duel any of you to the death, you honorless cowards.
Quiet!
To my shock, Damien actually stops talking. Instead, he stares open-mouthed at the man who uttered the single forceful word. Hello. A wiry man with dark hair, standing near the door with his arms folded over his chest. I like your tattoo, bud. He's not very tall and/or brawny, but he has an odd aura of confidence. I watch as he narrows his eyes in Damien's direction for a long moment, and then turns his gaze onto me. A curious stare at first, and then it turns so hateful that it makes my blood run cold. I've never seen a look so utterly full of pure venom. What did I ever do to him to earn that horrible gaze? It's hard to meet his eyes. I can feel Damien gazing at me as well. Keep the man's gaze, look at Damien. Let's keep this man's gaze. Steeling myself, I narrow my eyes and stare back at the dark-haired man. I'm not letting him think he's scaring me. I've done nothing wrong. I don't deserve to be glared daggers at like this. He keeps giving me that awful gaze, unblinking, unwavering. For a moment, it looks like something flickers in his expression, like the hint of a dark smirk. And then it's gone. The next thing I know, the dark-haired man is coming over in my direction. He closes the gap between us quickly, and before I know it, he's standing right above me.
What the hell do you want from us?
I reflexively growl at him when he approaches, but it doesn't seem like he's paying me much mind. Instead, he just reaches down and roughly grabs at the back of my tunic. He hauls me up to my feet, then shoves me in Damien's direction. I stumble forward a few steps, doing my best to keep my balance. From behind me, his voice.
I didn't think we'd run into more mage filth here.
Mage filth? Who does this bastard think he is? Before I can move to stand beside Damien, my arms are roughly grabbed by the men around him.
Sorry about this, mister.
One of the men restraining me offers a quiet apology, his eyes cast to one side. The dark-haired man coldly stares at Damien and me from a short distance away. After a long, excruciating moment, he speaks in a low, rough voice.
If only we had more time. I'd like to give you a slow, painful death like every spellslinger deserves. But I'll have to settle for chopping your heads off.
Chopping our heads off? Hang on a bloody moment.
The boy and I have done nothing wrong. We're exploring the cathedral, same as you are.
Your friend's a mage. That's enough to earn his death. And yours.
Wait a second. Let's be reasonable here. We'll go back the way we came and leave you lot alone. If you let us go. Damien starts to struggle against the men holding him. Damien starts to struggle against the men holding him again, and they have to tightly cling to him in order to keep him from breaking free. I can't believe this man is serious. He actually wants to kill us just because I used magic? I've heard tales that some regions aren't fond of mages, but this seems extreme. The whole situation feels so surreal that I'm too dazed to really be panicked.
Enough! Take the stupid blonde. I'll grab the boy.
We need to move, quickly. After those curt words, the men holding Damien start to drag him over to the door. Wait! I manage to find my voice at last, and hoarsely call out to the dark-haired man. But rather than paying me any attention, he grabs me by my collar and pulls me with him. He's only a few inches taller than I am, but with my hands bound, it's impossible to squirm out of his grip. Damn, I can't concentrate enough to cast a spell. The man shoves me after Damien into the corridor, and my heart drums wildly. We're forced along back into the tunnels, hurried along at almost a jog. I keep trying to worm away from the dark-haired man's grip, but he doesn't let go. The cold reality of what's about to happen starts to set in. I have to say something. And I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.